Welcome to the ASP.NET WebForms step-by-step series designed specifically for absolute beginners who want to learn WebForms the right way from the ground up. In this series, you will master key topics like the WebForms page lifecycle, working with the server control, understanding code behind structure, managing state, and accessing data using SQL. Whether you are a complete beginner, a student preparing for interviews, or a developer transitioning from other technologies, this series is perfect for you. Each video is hands-on with live code, practical examples, and project-based learning to help you apply what you learn instantly. Don't forget to subscribe to ASP NET and SQL Academy and turn on notifications so you never miss a video in this beginner-friendly WebForms series. Welcome to our tutorial on data binding using the GridView control in ASP.NET WebForms. To start, open your default .aspx file. From the toolbox, drag a GridView control onto the form and name it GridView 1. This control will allow us to display data in a tabular format, making it easier for users to view and interact with the information. Next, we need to prepare a data table to hold our data. In the page load event, add the following code block to check for the first load using if not is postback. Inside this block, we create a new data table, define its column, and add some sample rows. Then we set the grid views data source to our data table and call gridview1.dataBind. This binds the data to the grid view for display. The data bind method is crucial as it populates the grid view with data from the data table. When called, it automatically generates the necessary rows and columns based on the data structure defined in the data table. This makes it easy to display dynamic data without manually creating the UI elements. Now, it is time to see our work in action. Press F5 to run the project. Once it loads in your browser, you should see the data displayed in a tabular format within the grid view. This confirms that our data binding is functioning correctly and the data is being presented as intended. If the grid view does not display any data, there are a few common issues to check. First, ensure that the data source is correctly assigned to GridView 1. Also verify that the data table is populated with the data before calling the data bind method. Using breakpoints can help you inspect the data table and confirm that it contains the expected data. To enhance the functionality of your grid view, consider enabling features such as sorting and paging. This allows users to navigate through large sets of data more easily. Additionally, you can customize the columns and styles to improve the visual appeal and usability of the grid view, making it more user friendly. In summary, we have walked through the steps to bind data to a grid view in our WebForms application. We added a grid view to the page, prepared a data table in code, bound the data to the grid view, and successfully viewed the data in a tabular format. This illustrates how easy it is to display dynamic data in ASP.NET Web Forms. Thank you for joining this tutorial. As you continue your learning journey, consider exploring how to edit and delete rows directly within the grid view. You can also learn about data binding with the databases to populate your grid view with real-time data. Finally, investigate advanced grid view features to make your applications even more powerful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials. To handle large datasets gracefully, enable paging in your grid view by setting Allow Paging to True. Then implement the page index changing event to update the page index and rebind data. This lets users navigate between pages smoothly. Sorting lets users organize data by columns. Enable Allow Sorting, then handle the sorting event to sort your data table based on the selected column and direction, improving data exploration. To control how data appears, disable auto-generate columns and define columns manually. Template field allows you to use custom controls and formatting, making your grid view more versatile. Grid view supports editing data directly within the grid. Enable auto generate edit button, then handle row editing and row updating events to allow users to update data inline. To allow deleting records, enable auto-generate delete button and implement a row deleting event to remove the selected row from your data source and refresh the grid. Data source controls like SQL data source Simplify data binding by connecting your GridView directly to databases. Configure your SQL query in the SQL data source and link it to GridView via data source ID to reduce code complexity. To recap, we enhanced our GridView with paging, sorting, editing, deleting, custom templates, and data source controls. Try creating a GridView bound to a database with full CRUD operations to practice these skills.